Well, it's been a while since I've spoken to you folks. How you guys doing? Well, you know me with my thunder and lightning here. Maybe thunder and pounding like crazy these days, but I'll tell you what, this is going to be a plea. It's going to be a plea to all you folks out there who think that the Constitution no longer matters, that your duty to the United States no longer matters, that your job as United States citizens is out the door because you don't like the damn politics. Well, I got something to tell you. It is every duty. It is every citizen's duty who belongs to the United States of America to perform that sacred task of voting. And you do not throw away your ballots. You do not. The one thing our ancestors and every fallen soldier and everybody who swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States, given their lives for principles that they believed in. And one of those principles is the freedom and the right to vote. It is not taken lightly. It is not taken for granted. Politics is the way of our country at this point. It always has been. Since the time of its conception to right now. Now, we have faced a hell of a lot of epochs. We have faced a hell of a lot of errors. We have faced a hell of a lot of choices and bad mistakes and rotten timings and all the events that could have torn our country apart and should have. Even before we even had a chance to be a colony. Or the 13 colonies. Let alone a nation. Let alone, at one time, a superpower as we called ourselves. We should have never left Europe. And this is the message that you're giving to all of our future generations. Even the current one, and you're slapping it in the face of our ghosts. You throw away your ballots, you throw away your chances to vote, you might as well turn your back on every damn thing that made you an American in the first place. Even for those who have crawled through the muck and mud, through dust storms and filth and everything else just to get to this country because they thought the idea of a free country, or theoretically a supposedly free country, with rules or regulations that made us this way, they hoped they had a chance for their own dreams to come true. And if they actually hear people had actually said, I'm not voting because I don't like what's going on, I think they would have raised arms against their own citizens here in this country and put us to the test. And maybe they should have. Maybe they're the true dreamers at this point over here. We have been born and blessed in a country, and we have also been cursed. And we have also cursed. We are descendants of European and other countries that descended upon this world, this what they call the New World. We had people living here thousands and thousands of years prior before we even actually had 1 foot of Europeans on this soil. And they also fought against each other, but they tried to respect each other one way or another. But they were never united. They were never states. They were their own nations, their own tribes. And then we Europeans had to go over here and screw things up with our own damn biological contamination and our own hidey-tidy, arrogant thinking. And we damn near destroyed a hell of a lot of people in the process just to make a new world for ourselves. And then when we decided that we couldn't deal with our own European upbringing, but we still had our ego and arrogance, we decided we were going to be forming the 13 colonies. Despite the fact that a lot of people around us didn't like us. And I don't blame them. And when we actually had a union forming, and we had other colonies deciding they were going to hold their own nation higher than the United States of America. We had a war over a lot of issues, besides the slavery and besides the economics and the power struggles. And we had wasted a lot of our resources to do just that. Our resources are our people, our strength, our ideas, our values, torn apart on battlefields left and right, that we've got cemeteries crying out to us, no more, don't fill us up. We're overburdened right now with the ghosts that occupy this place. We don't want any more ghosts, and yet we keep filling them up more and more because we don't know any better. We get into world wars because we have our own economic and political agendas going on until we had our own sovereignty threatened one way or another. And then we had to get in there, kick ass, because it was patriotism during that time. And the Red Scare came up, and we were afraid about that one. So we went to a little peninsula and wasted a hell of a lot of lives during that time. And they're still technically in a state of war, even though for most of the time they're trying not to kill each other, just glaring at each other at the 38th parallel. A small country, almost in the area. Besides, they want their own form of government, but that threatens our own political agenda and our own economic safety, as we feared. And we threw troops, and we threw tanks, and then they threw us out. They threw out the other countries that they fought for centuries. And they're their own countries that we wasted lives on that. Because of our own dumbass values. But we held tight to them. We did technological achievements because we didn't want the other person to reach a floating rock above our skies and call it the red moon. And we wasted lives on that one so we can have a political agenda. But at least we had science advance on that one. And we still hold the title that we were the first on the moon. And what kills me is when we see in countries that have dictators scream out for freedom, for liberty, for justice, for laws that made sense instead of dealing with dictators and tyrants. Some of those countries fell, but other countries are still remaining strong because they still have the political and economic clout to do it. Sometimes we turn a blind eye to it, try to be friends with them. Others, we are at mortal locked enemies. And they're still messing with us and our ways and our values. Now we're in our own civil war once more of ideologies. And the ugliness of ourselves is out again. We didn't stop the Civil War back in 1864. We continued it to this day. Our civil rights for everybody, man, woman, and child. A constant battle that still wages in our streets and in the halls of Congress. And now with all the flag waving and political ideology and worshiping one guy who thinks he's going to be king, we might as well be one of those countries ruled by authoritative regimes. Have them rule us, because apparently they got it right. We have lost our way of being Americans. We have lost the ideologies. We have lost our history and our heritage because we are totally split. And when I see good people typing it out on social media that they want to hide from politics. They want to hide from all the damn ugliness. I know the feeling. I know the disgust. I know the shame that they feel. The fear. Because the other side seems like they're winning. The problem is we should have never had this thing in the first place, but we do. And we have to see the common ground. Because this is what's splitting our country apart and making us the laughing stock of history, of the world, of everybody. The great United States can't even get their act together. You think one guy's going to solve it all, and yet he doesn't. We have too much divisiveness and derision going on right now as it is. And it's been ongoing for generations, regardless of how you looked at the political parties and regardless how the political parties revised themselves over the decades. We have lost what it is to be Americans, and to lose and refuse to use that precious gift that was paid for in blood, the power to choose a leader, the power to choose. Vote. Regardless of what ballot it comes on, regardless of what form, regardless of which technique, to throw away that opportunity, to throw away what it meant to be us, is a disgrace to everybody who yearns for freedom and justice and liberty. We are not perfect. We are never going to be perfect. We are evolving. We are growing. We have to be. That's how the Constitution was set up, as a great compromise, because it had too many principles in there that had to cover everybody. And a lot of it was pretty damn ugly. That's why we had amendment processes built into it. I'm appealing to everybody. I'm appealing to myself. I'm appealing to my future generations. I'm appealing to the past. Do not throw this opportunity away. There is room for compromise. There is room for differences. There is room for plurality in this place. We are a melting pot of sorts. Pluralistic society with different goals and different agendas, but the same thing is to be the best American we can actually honestly be. Can you not understand that? Does it not ring through into yourselves? Or have we lost it all? Have we truly lost it all? Come November, prove to your ancestors, prove to your current generation, prove to your future generations what this country means, what it means to be American, and vote. I'm not saying who, I'm not saying for what, but you have the power to vote. For the love of those who have died, for the love of those who came before us, are here and before us. For those who are coming after us, and for that power that gave us this precious gift. For whatever you call him, or that great power, thank all of it, and take this gift and use it.